Hi, everybody. How you doing? I hope you're well. This is the first live stream in a few days since the problem, but I am hoping that StreamYard is not algorithmically the culprit in what happened, but that's not why I'm here to talk with you right now. Hey, everybody. Good morning. What I want to talk with you about is, and the title says Oakland Alameda Registrar Ranked Choice Voting Problem Timeline of Events. Now, a friend of mine passed me another article on this that's a timeline. I didn't read it because I don't read the publication that it's from, but I'm making this timeline because this timeline reveals what I think could be called political subterfuge, if I'm using that term correctly. Hey, Google, what's the meaning of the term subterfuge?
Here's the definition of subterfuge: deceit used in order to achieve one's goal.
Yeah, so I think that fits. Political subterfuge is at play, and that timeline is not going to pick it up. The one that I created and the story that I'm going to tell you will, because it starts, first of all, with as I say that in this Oakland Alameda Registrar Ranked Choice Voting Problem, we now have a lot of cooks trying to push each other out of the way to get into the kitchen. And in the process, really forgetting that voters exist. So the question is, how did we really get here? And given that I'm the one who first pointed to the problem with ranked choice voting software the Alameda County employs, I made a timeline of events. As I will call it, Oakland Alameda Ranked Choice Registrar Ranked Choice Voting Problem started with yours truly discovering a vote sharing pattern such that the same percentage of votes, 59.5%, transferred from Alyssa Victory to Sheng Thao with each new count of votes. Again, one should expect different percentages with each new count of votes, averaging 59.9% at the end. But the same percentage each day points to the existence of an artificial influencer, a machine. I first noticed the percentage on November 17th, 2022, and then shared my observations, saying the outcome was, quote, fishy and calling a recount in a vlog, the link of which is in the description below, and dated November 18th of 2022. On November 23rd, I called on Alameda County Registrar Tim Dupuis to show the actual ranked choice voting algorithm used for the 2022 November 8th election. And the link is provided there. Note that was far earlier than Sean Duger, who is aligned with Fair Vote and was with the Alameda County Democratic Party, who later came on my show and expressed support for the outcome where Sheng Thao won, even as I explained what I found to him. And the interview link to that is in the description area below and blog area below as well. Now, then, when I took my observation, Alameda County Registrar Tim Dupuis, during a 98-minute interview, the link of which is provided, he agreed that it was an, quote, anomaly, unquote, that should be looked at. That was December 15th of 2022. Prior to my interview with Sean Duger, a number of groups led by the Oakland NAACP wanted a vote recount simply because of Sheng Thao's margin of victory, 677 votes. On December 17th, I learned that Tim Dupuis told the NAACP and other groups that $21,000 a day was needed to start the voter recount process. He said he gave them 5 days notice, but the NAACP told me they were given less than 24 hours to get the money. Then a turn of events started a different path, and this one involving Tim Dupuis, Sean Duger, and Fair Vote, among others. 12 days from my interview with him, Tim Dupuis issued a press release announcing that the problem was found in the original ranked choice voting process algorithm. But rather than point to the problem I found, he said it was brought to his attention but did not explain by who. Then a few days later and into next week, word got around that Sean Duger said he discovered the problem. Consider that 2 weeks before then, Sean did not believe there was a problem. Then, when I pushed what I found to Tim, suddenly, after a few days delay, Sean came up with his own explanation. I think the real truth is the actual result is such that the election was severely altered by changes in the ranked choice voting algorithm. We're not allowed to see what actually happened. Remember, it's closed source. This feels like a fix in my opinion, and I state that because of the rapid way Sean Dugan and others changed their stance on the need to do a recount. Moreover, they push the idea that ranked choice voting itself must be retained, but don't bother to consider the real problem, the way ranked choice voting is done. As Tim said in his interview with me, the algorithm is a simulation of the vote, not the actual vote. That means there's a difference, and we saw that there are more variations of that vote. Now consider that we're only presented with one of them, and each scenario is done without regard for the one person, one vote rule. Now it's one person, and maybe your vote gets counted depending on how the program is run. That's not democracy. That's voter disenfranchisement. Stay tuned. And before I close, folks, one more reminder. The matter of the fact that the current group of Oakland mayoral candidates was not educated regarding the change in ranked choice voting from 3 to 5 was something that I noted in my exchange with Lauren Taylor, expressed by a number of logs, and also a list of victory during the month of October in the run-up to the election. So, and then I began to dig into the role that Dominion played, which actually is quite an honest one overall from its narrow perspective. But it's quite clear that there are a number of entrenched political operatives who are working to make sure that the mistakes that we have faced continue. Now, they say they want a recount, and what they should really want beyond a recount is a different and more trusting and secure way to do ranked choice voting. I am not against ranked choice voting, and I'm not against the outcome. I am against using machines that people don't understand how they're ran to make it more complicated for the common person to understand. That's not the way it's supposed to be. You know it, and I know it. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com, and that ends this broadcast.